Hi, my name is Cindy Romero, and this is my digital portfolio for technology instruction for linguistically and culturally diverse learners, or CIL 532. This digital portfolio is broken down into 4 parts. The first one is technology integrated lesson. The second is the student assignment using technology. The third is an observation. And the fourth is a recommended website. The first part, as mentioned, was a technology integrated lesson that I did with my class. I teach fourth graders, and 85% of them are EL students. I get the EL cluster. The technology tool that I used was Nearpod. I started playing around with this tool the first week of class, and I really liked it. So I decided to give it a try. In this website, you can create your own lessons or choose from a huge variety of pre-made lessons from their library. I decided to pick one already made because I really liked it and I thought it had a lot of things to keep my students engaged. I did a lesson on exploring idioms. We had been learning about figurative language such as alliteration, onomatopoeia, hyperboles, similes, and metaphors. So it was time for idioms. In this lesson, I liked it because it had a clear objective, or clear objectives, plural, and it had a really nice essential question. It was broken down into 3 parts. The first one was engage and explore. The second was explain and elaborate. And then at the end was evaluate. It started with a poll asking students if they knew what idioms were. And I really liked starting the lesson like that. Throughout the lesson, it asked them to share their thoughts with writing or drawing, whichever their choice. It showed them a video and it went into teaching what are idioms. Then they had to do matching games. They could do that by either circling or drawing a line, mix matching. It also included a short quiz after watching the video and learning about it, kind of like checking how their understanding was going. And it also asked them to write down an idiom that they had heard before and to write down what they thought it meant. Since before the lesson, most of them didn't know what an idiom was, but after learning it, they're like, oh, I know what that is. So then at the end of the lesson, it took a similar poll from the one from the beginning. It just kind of switched it just to check how they felt after the lesson, if they now knew what an idiom was after the whole lesson. And it also asked them to share their thoughts about the lesson. Like, did they understand it? How confident they felt? And I always like to do check-ins, so I thought that was great. The lesson was very interactive and the students were very engaged. So I think this was because of all the variety there was in the lesson. There was videos, there was matching games, there was quiz, there was a poll, there was share your thoughts, draw something. It changed it up and I just saw them so engaged and they were like just waiting to see what was next and obviously learning along the way. The standards that I used for this lesson were to determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in a text, distinguishing literal from non-literal language, which is idioms. And then for the ELD standard was to interpret language arts narratives by determining the meaning of words and phrases used in text, including figurative language such as metaphors and similes. So they both fall under the same umbrella. And then as far as EST standard, I thought it would be to empower learners, students, leverage technology to an active role in choosing, achieving, and demonstrating competency in their learning goals informed by their learning sciences. So these are the 3 standards that I went by with my lesson. The second part consisted of a student assignment using technology. For this part, I decided to use Lesson Up. I asked students if they had ever used Lesson Up before, and they all said no. They were like, no, what is that? And I had never used it before. It was kind of like in the list that was provided, so I was very interested. I told them that I needed their help to test it out. I told them I needed their feedback if I should incorporate this in my next class for next year. They were all excited about it, especially because they wanted to help me out. So they all went along, and all they had to do was go to lessonup.com, and then they had to enter a code that I had already displayed while they got there. I displayed it on my Promethean board. Once they were all logged in and they were ready to go. So I chose a short one because it was just to test it out. It was a short lesson about simple machines. It consisted of a video. So I started with this video. And then, I mean, when the video was playing, they were all paying attention because they were trying to figure out what they had to do. So they were all into it just since the beginning. When the video was done, they had to remember some information from the video. So then they did like a matching activity, like match the picture to the simple machine name, which is this one right here. And then we went through it one by one after they were finished. So it was displayed on the board, and they would like get so happy if they had it right, or kind of mad if they had it wrong, but they were like so invested. After the matching activity, it was like let's check your understanding. So it took like a little short quiz, and it looked very similar to like Kahoot, if you're familiar with Kahoot. After each question, it displayed the rankings of the student, and that part was optional. Like it asked you as a teacher when you are going to give this lesson if you want to see the students' names or not. So that can be either or if you want to display the rankings or not. So my class is super competitive, and they were so into it. So yes, I did that. So I mean, it was a few questions. So when it was done, they liked it so much, they begged me for another one. Like, come on, tomorrow, let's do another one. So I'm like, all right. So I picked another one on the spot. And I did something that we need practice on and something that was simple. So I did multiplication facts. When we did that one, they were also so into it. I did this the week before the last day of school. So they were all upset that we didn't use this earlier. They even asked me if I can tell the 5th grade teachers about it so they can use it again next year. So I might. I mean, I really liked it and I want to use it, but I do believe you have to pay, because it said that I was on a trial or something. So I don't know if I want to pay for it. I mean, I think it's worth it, but I'm not sure. Maybe I think I want to talk to my district to look into it and see if they can get it for us. But I definitely recommend it. Lesson Up was fun, engaging. The students learned about simple machines. And I liked it that after the fact that I was able to look at the report of their answers to see like if they were understanding or not. And you can access that at any time. So I think on the website, it just says click on reports and then click on the lesson that you did. And then it showed you how many they get wrong, or the percentage they got wrong, percentage right per each student as a class. So like you could break it down in a lot of ways. So I really like that part. I took a video because I thought they were so excited. The ones for the simple machines, I don't know what my video, it didn't work. I was trying to, I don't know what happened, but I did have this one for the multiplication one. So let me show you really quick. Write a multiplication equation that is something times 3.
3, 6, 2. 3. There. Times. I did 3 times. I think I was done first.
3, 2, 1. Let's see. Nice. Next. 3 times 7. Go.
Let's go! Easy. That's easy. It's 7. Let's go.
21. Write a multiplication equation that has the number 4 in it.
You guys done first. I was done first. I'm touching one. I just want 3. Go for it.
3, 2, and 1. Whoa. Okay, so I think it goes on a little bit longer, but that's pretty much the gist of it. They were so into it, we're so excited. I like that. Okay, so the third part of this digital portfolio was to observe another teacher using technology. So I observed a fifth grade teacher that also has the EL cluster. Half of her students were my students last year. The technology that she used was Breakout EDU, the digital version. I had heard about this, but I had never used it myself, and I know she's told me a couple of times, but I never get to it. But maybe after my observation, I will. She has her Breakout EDU linked with her Google Classroom, and she assigned it to them there. Students have to log in using Google. They can go to a classroom and then click and then sign in with Google. She mentioned to me that she does Breakout EDU weekly, and her students look forward to it. I also asked her what she used it mainly for, and she says for community building. So the day I observed her, she did a Breakout EDU called Breakout the Summer. And she provided me a screenshot right there. Students already had a team they were going to play with, so like it's a weekly thing. They already had their, it's towards the end of the year, so they already knew what to do. They already got it. So they got in their teams, and they were very competitive. So teams were working against each other to see which team broke out the fastest. The main story of the breakout was that someone thought they were funny and flipped the calendar back to September, and then suddenly they were transported back to September 1st, at the beginning of the school year. So then she's like, we needed to go back to the school year, remember the good and the bad, and put things back together so we can break out the summer. So they had to do five, unlock five of them, and they were different. It was either a number, a letters, some direction signs, shapes, colors. So each one is different. But things that they had to figure out in each lock. One was they had to figure out months in a calendar according to holidays. And then they matched descriptions of animals. They also had to match images of places and their names, so like locations and places. They also had to match the lyrics of Star Spangled Banner. And the last thing they did, I believe, is something with art, and they played with the initials of those artists. While they were trying to break out, the teacher was walking around answering questions and helping them if they got stuck, by giving them a clue. So, like I mentioned, they were most of them were EL, like at least half of the class. So she definitely needed to, give a hand and help them out, give them a few clues if they got stuck. But they all seemed like they were not struggling too much. They were like all into it and helping each other. They, like I believe some of the teams had higher kids helping the ones that were struggling a little bit. So she didn't help out that much, but she did walk around. The students were like so into it, and they kept trying to win. They were so competitive. I asked one of them what they would get if they won. She said that they got bragging rights for the rest of the week, and they got to pick what to play during recess for the next 3 days. So I thought that was really cool, and expensive rewards and a lot of benefits because they were all learning, they were all working together, and they were so into it. Like I said, half of those students were my students last year, and they all asked me why didn't I do this? I told them I didn't know about it, but now that I do, that I will do it with my next year with my fourth graders. So it was a great tool. I loved watching it, and I definitely want to implement it in my classroom. So then the fourth and last part is a recommended website. So I chose Blue-Kit. I started using Blue-Kit a couple of months ago. It is similar to Kahoot, which I know most of you are familiar with, but in my opinion, this is better. One thing I did not like about Kahoot was that the questions were displayed on the big screen, and students only saw like their four color options on the screen to give their answer. And it was always hard for them to see. They had to move around, and they're whining and this and that. But with Blue-Kit, students can see the questions and the answers on their own screen. They have a lot of Blue-Kits made that you can choose from, or you can create your own, kind of like I said, like Kahoot. When you pick